All right, so here we are where we left off. Um, so we set up our file. We have our image that we're tracing isolated on one layer and it's locked. So locking the layer means that it won't move, which is great because if you don't lock it, then you might, have it shift and you'll spend a lot of time moving things back into place. So I would highly suggest for you to lock just your photo layer at the very beginning, and then anything else on top. As you can see, we started here with like the leaf. um, it's all they're all in their own layers, and then in setting it up this way you can kind of check to see your progress. Okay. um, all your images, right, all of these objects, um, you need to close them. So when you make a shape, you just need to close them. Um, I'm going to continue working on this leaf just so you can kind of see it, like a little bit more shaped out. And I mentioned that the color that you're tracing it in, that's not your final color, right? So I'm going to pick this leaf and I'm going to keep it locked. And I made another layer for the detail. Okay, so when I'm looking at this, since it's flat color, I can see that there's, this shading here and this shading here, right? There's no drop shadows we're working with. We're using color to add dimension. So I also notice, if you look here, that this darkened area, right? That is also something to account for depth, right? So what I'm going to do, I will work on this kind of shaded area right here. I can see like a shaded area right here, and definitely right here too. Okay, so I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit so I can see it. Undo really quick. I want to kind of, it may or may not make sense what I'm doing, but I'm going to show you what I mean about kind of adding depth through color. So I'm going to try and trace the spots that are a little bit darker, right? So like there's the center of the leaf that is pretty much yellow. Sorry, the center of the petal. I'm trying to get the shape of that shade that's happening towards the edge of the petal. Okay, so for every color, it's its own object, its own shape. And I'll show you how you can kind of fix your shape without having to redraw it. Now I'm going to do the center. All I'm concerned with right now is making the objects for that petal. Okay. So it might look kind of weird right now. Let me show you what I'm thinking. So I'm going to, here are my swatches. For this petal, I'm going to fill in the color. For your swatches, just so you know, if you go to swatches and then like that little hamburger button, you can go to swatch library, and there is like preset panels for color of certain things. So I'm gonna just kind of open up the flower one, see where that gets me. And just so I can focus on just the petal, itself, I'm gonna turn that picture off, and I'm gonna unlock all my layers except for the picture. And that first shape, right, that main petal, I want it to be yellow. Right now the stroke is the only thing coloring it in, but I'm going to swap it, right, so you can see it. I don't need a stroke outside of that yellow. Then I had like that darker yellow. Okay, so I'm gonna try and find that darker yellow, and that's the stroke, but I want it to be the fill. And same kind of for that bottom area. I'm gonna hit that with that color and make that stroke the fill. I'm gonna make this one a little bit, I think, more orangey. Okay. And then this, it was kind of like the ridges, right? So for the ridges, I want to kind of make it not too dark. If I put this here, now that's the fill and the stroke is blue. So I want to take the stroke away. And I think this is getting close. This color, I think it needs to be closer to that yellow. Do you guys see that? So I'm going to make it exactly that color. And then with the color picker, I'm going to click OK. Now these ridges, I want them on top of that shaded area. Okay, so I'm going to select those two ridges, and I'm going to go Object, Arrange, Bring to Front. I think I still want to figure out this coloring. I could still... Okay. I think this is still dark. Too dark, right? Better. All right. So here is my fully kind of flushed out petal. And so I'm going to continue making my petals, you know, individual petals, and I'll pay attention to the shading of it. I'll follow the shape, right? I'll focus on the petals first. And then when I feel super confident, then maybe I'll want to tackle this the butterfly's body, the legs, or I might want to tackle a little the center, right, of the flower, and then in zooming out a little bit, I can end with doing the stem, right? So whatever that image is, you don't have to do all of it, but whatever you do, do it well. So like the level of detail and the shading of that one petal, right? It might look a little bit weird when you compare it to the photo, but at the end of the day, we're not looking at your photo and the illustration. We're just looking at what you illustrate. So, hopefully that helps kind of give you confidence and context. And unfortunately, it won't build itself. So you actually you got to start, even though you're scared um, or very intimidated. Um, but, just take it literally one shape at a time, and you're going to build and build and build. So make sure you save constantly, and then, look at the images that you have. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be around for student hours during class time on Fridays. If you have a separate time that you want or you can meet, let me know, and I'm happy to meet with you. But I think with just some time and just focusing on your pen tool, it'll be great. So hope that helps. Make sure you save. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay.